Hello, denizens of the internet. Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer is not a movie. It's a 3-hour painting, painted with many, many fleeting shots, well-crafted words, lighting, textures, audio surprises, edited juxtapositions, amazing performances, especially from Cillian Murphy. Is it pretentious? Yes. Can you tell when Nolan is peeing in corners, leaving his scent on different scenes? Yes. Is it needlessly long? Yes. Is it absolutely worth seeing? Yes. It will remind you of what cinema is supposed to be or used to be. That's it. That's the review. You can go now. And the rest of this video will be just musings and ramblings. And yes, there will be spoilers. The funny thing about Oppenheimer is that it's a simple story about the rise and fall of a super nerd who helped build the atomic bomb. One could say that the building of the atomic bomb would be a story sufficient in of itself to justify a movie. It's based on a 2006 best-selling book, American Prometheus, by Kai Bird and Martin Sherwin. Prometheus was a Greek demigod who stole the secret of fire from Zeus and was punished for it. But one can't help thinking that this was all a really long time ago. The Cold War is a distant memory. The people of Nagasaki and Hiroshima will never forget, but most of you have or don't care or never learned. I could almost imagine Oppenheimer coming out in the 60s, directed by Sidney Lumet. As a film, Oppenheimer is brilliant many times. As subject matter, will it connect with audiences? We shall see. It certainly connected for me, as I was a nuclear physics nerd. My heroes were Fermi, Rutherford, and von Neumann. I had a cosmic radiation cloud chamber with a radium source. Oh, the things kids played with in the 60s. I had a mammoth periodic table taped to the walls of my bedroom. Did I get beaten up frequently? Hell yes. My hypothesis is that Oppenheimer is not about the man, but his genius. Oppenheimer himself was just a container that conveniently carried it about. The casting and performance of Cillian Murphy is jaw-dropping. Maybe it was his gaunt face, high cheekbones, but mostly his blue eyes. Oppenheimer's genius is the fulcrum upon which this movie is balanced. If you don't believe in his genius, then the movie fails. I'm not going to go over the plot and all the scenes because it's just 3 acts. Young Oppenheimer, bomb Oppenheimer, faded Oppenheimer. In between, we have communism, Oppenheimer, sex beast, government intrigue, military-industrial complex, and lots of smart people arguing with each other about the morality of the bomb. I found the young Oppenheimer part overly long. Could there have been cuts made there? Possibly. But then would the building of the bomb section of the movie be as compelling? Maybe not. Nolan could have cut the entire backstory, but then it would have just been an episode of MacGyver Goes Boom. But what really struck me was how short the scenes were. The movie is filled with cutaways that aren't even long enough to be cutaways. Blips, shadows, faces, an expression, a single word, black-gloved hands drowning someone. It's as if Nolan and his cinematographer, Hoyt van Hoytema, I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong, went to a lens rental store and said, "Yeah, we'll take them all." This is not a film saved in the edit. This was planned by Nolan, who is at the top of his game here, except for some moments where I thought the music was way too loud. It never got heavy-handed. At least I didn't think so. Enough cannot be said about the supporting cast. Florence Pugh, Emily Blunt, Robert Downey Jr., Matt Damon, a surprising appearance by Gary Oldman. Everyone is great and gets a turn. It's a huge cast. I hate to see the cast budget on this thing, but at the center of this all is Cillian Murphy's Oppenheimer. it is a performance for the ages. It doesn't hurt that he provides a striking resemblance to the man, and I assure you, you won't forget those piercing blue eyes. Someone much smarter than me said that you need at least 4 antagonists in a screenplay, and you get them here. No, not the big purple kind that wants to snap you out of existence. Werner Heisenberg, yes, the uncertain one, shows up only once at the beginning, but looms large during the time when the U.S. thought that they were in a race against the Nazis for the bomb. A great moment is when Oppenheimer calmly tells Matt Damon's military character, Leslie Groves, that the Nazis will never get the bomb because they got rid of all their smart Jews. The testing of the atomic bomb is a fantastic set piece, which you will all enjoy. His victory speech after dropping the bomb on Japan was masterfully, psychedelically edited by Jennifer Lame. While the audience cheered, it was clear Oppenheimer harbored guilt over the bombing. I really have no interest in regurgitating every scene in the movie, but I will mention the end, where the movie shifts to Oppenheimer losing his Atomic Energy Commission security status, which would not be my first choice for an engrossing plotline. But Nolan juxtaposed it with Senate hearings featuring the duplicitous Admiral Louis Strauss, brilliantly played by Downey. It worked, but that part dragged for me. Seriously, there was no need for this movie to be 3 hours long. And lately, we all know superheroes have been throwing in cheap cameos, trying to goose interest in their flaccid efforts. Oppenheimer was no stranger to this shamelessness. It had Einstein, Niels Bohr, Heisenberg, Enrico Fermi, Edward Teller, and none of them were swapped for Lizzo. Shocking. The scale and the number of bodies thrown at this movie reminded me of David Lean's Lawrence of Arabia, but inside confined spaces and less sand. Everyone is going to talk about the fact that there was little to no CG effects in the movie, and it shows. Not everyone can be given a budget to build a town in a desert, but hopefully this starts a trend of less CG and more clever in-camera effects, because we are bloody tired of it. I mean, the CG. And we have recently learned more CG and reshoots do not seem to be a formula for success. A couple of final points. My favorite line was delivered by Einstein, played by Tom Conti. Now is your turn to deal with the consequences of your achievement. My biggest complaint was that Edward Teller's Hungarian accent was not very convincing. Till next time, denizens, be seeing you. And I look forward to hearing what you thought about the film.